You're listening to an archived Cabral Concept podcast. After listening to this show, check out the most up-to-date podcasts available at stephencabral.com/podcasts or search directly on iTunes. And now, welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
And I'm so happy to have you here today on our Mindset and Motivation Monday, one of my favorite days of the week. I can remember probably not too long ago, maybe just about 10 years ago, 12 years ago or so, which, believe it or not, that time does fly by. I remember thinking back and always dreading Mondays, meaning like the weekends are my favorite time of the week. The weekends where I kind of lived for, meaning I had a tough week, Monday through Friday. I would go out with my friends. I would go out with my now wife, at the time, and we would have a good time and we would relax and all of those things. And then Sunday night would come and I couldn't sleep. I had insomnia and I would stay up, essentially all night. I couldn't regulate my body. And a lot of it was just not wanting to go back to my Monday through Friday. And that is not the way that we are supposed to live. Mondays themselves are not supposed to be something that are dreaded. Now I look forward to every single Monday. I look forward to actually Sunday night because I sit down with my planner, I sit down with my journal, and you probably heard about that on a previous Friday review that I just did. What was that? That was episode, I'm going to get it for you right now, episode 630. So if you didn't check out the planner that I use, you can check that out. But I get excited about my week because my weekends are phenomenal times as well because that is all family time. It's 48 hours of family, as I call it. And we're with each other all the time. And of course, as you know, that could have its own little ups and downs as well. But I love my family. I've got 2 great kids, great wife, and we have a good time. But then Sunday night, I get excited now because I get to come back to my work and I love my work and I'm passionate about my work. I love working with people. I love speaking with people over Skype. In my office, I love mentoring other health professionals. I love being able to do speaking and writing and all of these things. So I'm excited about it now. So I don't dread Mondays. I've just found my place now in the world, right? My own little niche. And that's what I've been working on with you, hopefully, over our previous Mindset and Motivation Mondays to find your place, or not even just to find it, to move towards it. Because believe me, I've really been moving to a different place in my work, in my career, and in my passion over the past 2 years. Before, it was always one-on-one appointments, which again, I love doing, still do, and will probably do really into my, I would say, 60s, maybe even early 70s, because I love working with people one-on-one. I love seeing what they're going through, understanding where they're at, and then letting them know it's going to be okay. It really is. Together, we're going to work together so that I make sure that you feel alive again, that you get well, that you get through this because I know that you can, because I know that there's been someone just like you sitting in this office or someone out there that has gotten the results that you want and they've been in your position. So that since they've been in that position, they've gotten the results that you want, that means there's a plan out there for you. There's a blueprint. There's a system that we can follow. We'll tweak it, yes, individually for you, but you can follow it and you're going to get those same results. But there's something that holds a lot of people back, and that's the topic of today's show. And the problem is that there's a first step to attracting whatever we desire in life, whatever we want out of life. So right now, and I always talk about this, again, in my life coaching, or I don't like to call it life coaching, but my lifestyle medicine, my holistic health coaching that I do with people, again, that I never even talk about, I never advertise my services, never really do that. But I told you exactly what I do. So again, I always give the information away for free. That was on episode 633, how to reclaim your life and get back on track. I do hope that you listen to that show because I teach you the initial session that I do with people. And a lot of people wrote in and they really were happy. They were thankful that I gave that information. And again, as I always say, it's not my information to keep for me. It was essentially, I've assimilated this through just thousands of books and years of study. And what am I going to do with it? Just hold on to it for myself? No, you grow as a person when you can then pay it forward and share it with others. But what I find is there's this missing step, all right? There's a missing step to improving your relationships, improving your career, improving your body, improving your wellness, and improving your spirituality. And that the problem is, and so we look at this as the entire law of attraction, right? Some people believe in it, some people don't. I just want you to know that there's nothing, it's not magic, right? It's not magic by attracting things into your life, but it is miraculous because there is actually a system. There's a step-by-step plan that you have to follow. And I've talked about that before. It's called the Be, Do, Get formula. So you can just kind of look that up again on previous Mindset and Motivation Mondays. If you haven't checked them out, I highly recommend going back to them. Be, do, get. It means simply put, but I want you to listen to the full show. You must be the person who deserves that outcome. Meaning that if there's a new job, a new whatever it is, career out there, well, you need to start acting and being that person who would actually get that. If you want to meet this specific person in your life, you need to be that person who's worthy of attracting that person. Doing means taking the action, and then getting is actually getting the reward or getting whatever it is that you want out of life. Be, do, get. Be the person first. That's more of an emotional based thing. Do is the action, then get is the act of receiving, but you don't get, people forget this, you don't get before you do. And you don't actually get to do something. You don't actually get to take an action until you become that person mentally. Like, okay, mentally, yes, I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready. For many years, I was not truly ready to get my voice out there to the world because what about this? What about that? You know, all these things hold you back. There's always that mindset. And it took some time. And that's okay because we have time. It doesn't always have to be pushed so hard. But I'll tell you right now is that how do you be, do, get? Well, there's this first step before that. And that is this, that you must ask. Too few of us actually ask for what we want out of life. And then we wonder why we don't get it. Meaning that we want a better career. We want a better partner, spouse, relationship, whatever it might be. And again, it doesn't mean that you need to break up with your current person that you're with, but you need to actually work on that. But you need to ask first, right? In terms of spirituality, you want a deeper level of spirituality, but you haven't truly asked for that yet. And I'll talk about that in just one moment. And your health and your body, you haven't asked for it, meaning like, sure, you desire about it, but more so you complain about what you currently do have. And complaining is going to get you nowhere. And actually, complaining is going to get you more of the same because you are being a person that is unhappy with your life. And then you're taking actions to reinforce your life that you don't want. And then you are getting that life that you don't want. The be, do, get formula is always working in your life. It truly is. Now, of course, I know some of us are in harder positions than others. Some of us are born into whether it's a broken family or a physical dysfunction with the body, all of these things. Don't get me wrong. I understand that there's a lot going in life. But what I'm saying is no matter where we start from, right? Because we all start from all sorts of different areas. Not everyone starts, as royalty. And then not everyone starts at the hardest, lowest level. So there's all sorts of levels in between. But wherever we're at right now, we are allowed to ask for more. We are allowed to ask for more out of life. I truly believe, based on all the religious studies that I've done, based on all the psychology, based on all the philosophy, that we are not being selfish by asking for more. Because I found that really, the more that we get in our life, the more fulfilled we are. The more fulfilled we are, the happier we are. Happy people do more for others. They really do. Miserable people do less. They're more selfish because they always feel like they're lacking. They're in a state of lack. And again, I've talked about this before on my Maslow's hierarchy of needs. These are all psychological based principles, and I'm just trying to give it to you in real world form. So everything starts with asking. You must ask for what you want. You must write it down in a journal. You must cut out a photo and put it up on your mirror, or what you see many, many times per day. Put it in your wallet, put it at your desk, put it in your desk drawer. It must be something that motivates you, but you must ask for it. You want a better home? Then ask for that, okay? You don't have to know how to get to it right away, but you must ask for it before you can even become the person emotionally to do the action, then get the thing, okay? So we must ask for it. One of my favorite quotes by Jim Rohn is this, and you know that I quote Jim Rohn a lot because Jim Rohn, he seemed to really, he just had this charm about him that was very old school, and he was very unassuming. And I like that. I just like the humbleness to him now. It's humble confidence. That's what most of us should be striving for. Stay humble, but stay very confident in our abilities and in our knowledge. And that only comes with time as well. So what Jim Rohn said was this, is when you ask for something, ask big. Ask big. And the reason is that even if you ask big and you reach for the moon, if you fail, you fall amongst the stars, right? But if you're only trying to reach a little bit, well, if you fail, then you got nothing out of it. Because what you're really trying to do is ask for something big, so big that you have to change as a person, change as a human being. And in that process, you gain so much more out of it than even if you don't achieve whatever that final goal is, you've achieved so much more in the process because you've actually changed your character. So when I asked many years ago to get well, what I didn't know was it was going to take years of struggle to actually push through different diet plans, different nutrition plans, looking at different supplementation protocols, studying all over the world, going back to get my naturopathic doctoral degree, doing all of these things that at the time seemed painful, but I was willing to do whatever it took. Little did I know that that would then become my story. That would then become who I am. That would then lead me to having this new level of perseverance and confidence so that I said, if I went through that, I can go through anything. I can overcome anything because I can't think of anything more of a struggle than that. And that leads to great things. What Jim Rohn also said was this, and I love this. He said, stop bringing a teaspoon to the ocean, which I always laugh when I hear that. And he says, at least bring a bucket so that way the kids who are watching you don't laugh. Kids know what to do. They always ask big. So bringing a teaspoon to the ocean basically means that you have this huge ocean in front of you. You have the world in front of you, but your ask is so small. Out of a relationship, you're basically, like let's say you're single right now and you're like, well, maybe I'll just look for this. No, ask for exactly what it is that you want. Your career, ask for exactly what it is. You might not get it tomorrow, but you're not supposed to get it tomorrow. You're supposed to just work your way up to it, grow as a person, get exactly what you are looking for. That goes with your health, that goes with your mind, that goes with your body, okay? If you want to lose 50 pounds, you have to lose 10 pounds first. But we have to ask for that 50-pound weight loss. We have to ask for whatever it is that we want, and that means don't bring a teaspoon to the ocean. Bring a big bucket, bring a wheelbarrow, bring the back of a truck, fill it up as much as you want, but make a big ask. And I find that as adults, somewhere around the age of like 8 to 10 years old or so, the world, our culture, society has really gotten to us. And our asks become smaller and smaller because we're told by our community that that's too much to ask for. That's dreaming too big. And that's too bad. It really is. Because at that point, we start to settle for what our family was, right? What our family has. And maybe that's not the level that we want to achieve. And again, it's not monetary. It's not social. It's not anything. It's just specific factors. And maybe you're happy with that. And then if you're happy with that, well, then you've already achieved it, or at least in one area of your life. And that's great. But what I don't want you to do is settle for whatever life gives you, because settling leaves you unhappy, unfulfilled. And then I'm telling you right now, this is actually a selfish ask from me to you, because if I can help you to become more fulfilled, if I can help you to become more passionate, then guess what? You're going to have a filled up cup, and you are then going to be willing to pour some of that out to others. That's the whole thing. I was not willing to do that 12 years ago because I was still finishing up my journey at that time. And at that time, I had nothing to give because I was in a state of confusion, a state of flux. I still didn't have that answer. But when I got it, I had so much more to give. I had so much more energy in both mind and body. But I also had a knowledge and clarity that I could then share with others. So here's what I want you to do is I want you to stop playing defense in life, and I want you to start playing an offense. And what does that mean? Well, it means this, is that a lot of people are just dealing with the chaos in their life. They're dealing with whatever life throws at them. Yes, you have to do that as well, but you need to start playing a little offense. You need to start asking. And if it's another career that you want, then you need to start reading the books, hiring the coaches, taking the courses, whatever it is to allow you to then reach that level. Okay, go for the meetings, go for the interviews, whatever it might be. And if it's your health, well, then meet with a doctor, meet with a coach, run a lab test, take the nutritional supplements, do the diet plans, start moving forward towards that. That's the offense. Okay, you need to be playing offense just as much as defense, and that truly does matter. And all of this only happens when you believe in yourself. Now, I know it's hard to believe in yourself when you're down and out and you've never gotten the results that you want. So I'm not asking for a full out all belief in what I'm saying, and I don't want you to just go full boat in yourself as well. What I want you to think about is this, is that I need you to believe in yourself enough just to take the first step. And that by just taking the first step, that allows you then to make a small change. And then that small change will get you a small win. Small change, small win. But what happens is this, and I've spoken about this before, we start to build off of our wins. Small wins begin to accumulate. It becomes larger, and then that's when real change begins to take place. But here's the problem. A lot of the times, we don't congratulate our small wins because they're small wins. So if we start sleeping a little bit better, waking up less during the night, it's just a small win, but we're not fully better, so we don't center our attention on, great, we're making progress. And that is what hurts you too, because then you become frustrated, you become overwhelmed. I should have been better already. I should have lost all the weight. My skin should have cleared up. I should have met that person. I should have done this. It's all these should haves. And that, again, is just too frustrating. It's too overwhelming. So what I want you to do, a lot of people talk about vision boards. I want you to create this. I want you to create a accomplishment board. I want you to actually cut out photos of the things in your life or print out photos from your phone of the things that you've already achieved. And they can be small, because when your mind starts to see that it's an achiever, right? That you're an achiever, that you create things in your life, that you make things happen. When you can start to see that, then you can say, oh, I've already done this and I never knew how to do that before. I can do this as well. And again, it's just the steady moving forward. So yes, create a vision board, but right next to it, create an accomplishment board. Now your accomplishment board can actually translate over to your vision board. And every time you create something in your life, you attract whatever it is on your vision board, move that over to your accomplishment board or move that over to your journal. An accomplishment board or vision board is simply cutting out photos of things that you want out of life. And it could just be an emotion. Like, what does that emotion look like? What does that perfect partner look like? What does perfect health to you look like? Or write it down and stick it to the board. But images just have so much more power to them. Okay, so by doing this, you are also taking the first step. That's kind of one of those little secrets that I like to sneak in there. Just by creating an accomplishment board, just by creating a vision board, you are starting to slowly believe, just by the act of creating a vision board, that you could potentially create these things in your life. And if you start to understand that, if you start to understand that life is a journey, that there'll always be ups and downs, but the goal is to continue to grow, the goal is to continue to move forward, you're going to be able to get everything that you want out of life. And just remember, the first step to getting everything that you want out of life, the first step to attracting what you want into your life is by asking. So my highest recommendation today is that you first just get comfortable with being able to ask for more. You do deserve it. If not you, then who? Thank you everyone for tuning into another Cabral Concept. As always, I appreciate each and every one of your listens. Ever wonder what the best sauna, blue blockers, sleep trackers, wake lights, salt lamps, or other health gadgets are? Or what about the top non-toxic mattresses, sheets, soaps, bath products, toothpaste, and cookware? Or would you like to know the cleanest choices for hemp parts, meal delivery services, supplements, and much more? I personally curated, researched, and now created a resource page of all of my top picks that continues to grow each week. These are the exact products I use in my own life, with my family, in my private practice, and they're the ones I trust. To find out all of my up-to-date recommendations and all the details, simply head on over to stephencabral.com/resources.